Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for waiting. We're a couple of minutes late. We had some technical issues, but thank God we're here. We got everything working correctly. So today we have a much awaited interview. We've got John Pagulayan, who's so-called the legend. That's what some people call John. And he's going to talk to us about his story. Specifically, I wanted to focus on the being a millionaire freelancer, not just because it's a clickbait title, but because it's also true. I'm not sure if you want to confirm or deny that, John.
Uh, I'd rather... teka. Ito. Ano masaya? For the month of June. Ay, ito.
Uy, may pakita.
Hindi, para, di ba? Kasi, naasar ako, last time I saw a post in there, parang, people don't believe that freelancers do earn that much, di ba? So, ito. Can you guys see my app? And I'm gonna click on FreshBooks, invoices, tatakpan ko na lang to. So that's for June. Do you guys see it? Nakikita ba?
Kind of. I see like $4,000, $1,000, $2,000. Yeah, so that's if I add them 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, mga $8,000, ganun.
8,000. Ay, hindi mo nakita yung isang 2,000 pa pala sa baba.
Kasi 10,000.
So if I counted this, it's gonna be 11,900, and it's only June 16th. 16th ba?
Wow, nice.
Or 14th.
Oh, or 14.
Ayun.
Okay lang if you get the dates wrong. May 11,000 ka naman, so it's fine. Totally okay.
Hindi, ayun lang, di ba? I mean, halfway into the month, and then you can already have that. So I don't know how much that is in pesos, but that's the truth, really. Like, people can make, will make you money if you do it right. Yun lang yun.
That's mga 600,000 pesos. So,
Kinamit mo talaga.
So, may calculator ako dito, ano ka?
Yun lang. Yun.
Anyhow, let's get started with the interview. Thank you for joining us, the millionaire freelancer, John Legend Pagulayan. So let's start from the beginning, John. A lot of people, we already have some questions for you. We've got a lot of people waiting for this, but let's take a step back. You weren't always earning $11,000, $12,000 halfway through the month. You had to start somewhere, and you shared this story with me before. And I guess we can share this story with our audience of how did you get started in the freelancing world?
Okay. Now, before I say anything, babati nga pala ako. Hi, Ai. Ayun. Parang show lang yan, bumati. But anyways, ayun. I guess it all started when I was working in a call center. Kasi I'm, like, a brief background on me. Probinsyano ako. So, I only went to Manila, mga college na, mga 15 years old yata ako, 16. And sa kasamaang palad, hindi ako graduate. As to why I didn't graduate, wag nyo nang tanungin.
Alam nyo na.
So basically, I was relegated to odd jobs, kumbaga. Like, alam mo yun, yung bagger, barker, taga-ayos ng bola sa bilyaran, clown, mga ganong trabaho yung mga nakukuha ko. So, and then this, dumating yung call center na the industry. So I tried it. Parang wala lang, trip lang. Kasi sila lang, I mean, to be honest, they're the only ones who accept non-college graduates. Diba?
Yeah.
And tapos, ayun pa, the fact that they don't accept that, tapos mataas pa yung sahod, it really drew me in yung call center industry.
Mataas, it was like 15,000 pesos a month, di ba? Parang ganun.
Oo, malaki na yun.
Oo, laki na yun.
Sahod ko na sales clerk yata, mga 4,000 sa isang buwan, di ba? Kung parang yaman-yaman na 15,000. So, ayun. And then I started out as an agent and then got promoted as a trainer. Yun pa, I mean, who in the hell will be promoted without being, without graduating college? Diba? So that was like really the lure of call center. So I got promoted as a trainer. Was a trainer for 6, 7 years. I worked for like 8 years. And then, siguro mga 2 years before ako nag-resign, I know you've felt it. Like, 20,000, 30,000 doesn't cut it anymore. Diba? Parang kapag lalabas ka, punta ka ng Jollibee, 500 ka agad yung mga gastos mo. Tapos, hindi pa kayo busog nun. Diba? Lalo na pag may pamilya ka, and I have a family. So, hindi siya, it's not really something that I could live with until tumanda ako. So, what I did was, I searched the internet, how to make money online. Ayan. So, when I searched that, yun yung mga paboritong phrase ng mga naghahanap ng pera sa online. I was exposed to a whole lot. Nagulat niya ako eh. Like, andun yung mga clickbaity ng mga headlines, mga how I made 100K and et cetera, et cetera. Wow, galing! How I got $10,000 just by writing one article. Wow, grabe naman doon. So, nakakit ako doon. I was actually, nakakit ako sa blogging and then sa affiliate marketing. So I tried doing that for many long months. Siguro. Like, hindi ko na mabilang. I mean, a lot of people are telling me, like my friends telling me to quit it kasi nababaliw na daw ako. Kasi din ako sumasama sa mga inuman. Alam mo na, lasinggero ako eh. So, parang Jam, tigilan mo na kasi, wala ka namang kikitain dyan, mga ganun. Tapos, I have people, like relatives telling me, like, dude, ano bang JR, ano bang ginagawa mo sa buhay mo? Wala ka namang napapala dyan. Tapos and you have your kids, papabayaan mo and stuff. Kasi, I'm gonna work overnight. Tapos, pag uwi, travel time pa. And then you're gonna study internet marketing, blogging, affiliate marketing, 5 hours. So, natutulog ako siguro 5 hours, 4 to 5 hours every day. And that went on for like the whole 9 months.
So, John, why did you, I know you had, you mentioned that you had a family, pero why wasn't para yung 30K a month, that's this average salary of a trainer, mga 30 plus K a month enough for you? What was your life like then?
Well, it's not enough kasi para po talaga sa buhay ko nung bata ako, magkaroon ng magandang kotse at saka magkaroon ng bahay. Di ba yung lagi yung drawing sa, drawing mo yung future mo ganun. Habang may kahawak ka ng mga bata, drawing mo yung house na may puno sa gilid na may kotse sa harapan. So that's exactly what the only thing I wanted. And the thing is, 30,000 a month, I wasn't able to afford that. Tapos papaaral ka pa ng mga bata. Diba? So it's not, kumbaga, nakakalabas kayo, oo. I mean, you're living. I mean, you're alive, but you're not really living, if you know what I mean. Parang just to get by, yun lang yun.
Yeah.
And I wasn't having it really. So I grew up in a household na I saw my mom and dad not work. Kumbaga, my dad was more entrepreneurial in a sense. Tapos yung mom ko, she's more of a housewife, na gusto sila supportahan yung tatay ko. But we didn't have a lot of money. Pero it's just the fact that I didn't see them work. So working corporate and doing odd jobs is really a foreign concept to me when I stepped out of college.
Yeah.
I wanted to go back to, nakita ko na, I want to be my own boss. Yun lang yung talagang plan ko. And then, I blogged and blogged. 9 months into it, wala pa rin ako nakikita ng pera. Like zero. Like zero balance sa PayPal.
9 months? Hindi ka ba rin discouraged after 9 months?
Na-discourage ako. Actually, someone like, na parang napag-usapan na, like na magkakapatid and stuff. Kasi it was really affecting my life. Hindi sa lalabas, ayoko, kasi nagagawin ako, mag-aaral ako. And then, parang na-intervention, alam mo yun, na-intervention ako nang wala sa oras. And then, parang, yung masamang espiritu, lumayo sa, parang gusto nila akong gano'n. sabi ko, okay, if next year, kasi mga September yata, yung mga 9 months na wala akong pera. So, sabi ko, if by January, wala pa rin ako kinita, kahit 1%, kahit even just $1, titigilan ko na to. And in a sense, yung deadline na yun, I think that's what really pushed me na really pagpursigihin yung ginagawa ko. Kasi di ba, we're creatures na pag walang urgency, tamad. It's like, busy-busyhan, but really not doing things that are na dapat gawin. So yun, that's what happened.
Is that how you describe your parang 9 months? You were busy-busyhan lang, you weren't really pushing it, you weren't really giving it your all?
Back then, I thought I was busy. Talaga. I thought I was like giving it my all. But now that I think about it, naisip ko, I was doing things na hindi naman talaga direkta sa pera. If you know what I mean. Like, I was blogging, but I wasn't looking for people to read my blog. So I was in a bubble, so to speak. Na if I do this, they will come. Yun yung
and that's what a lot of the experts teach, diba? A lot of the experts when it comes to blogging, affiliate marketing, they say, just build a blog and then you're going to earn money, diba? They don't talk about the marketing so much. They don't talk about the copy and so on. So you were following the advice of experts, right?
I watched, which is bullshit. So I'm sorry. Pwede mo sabihin dito. So I was doing that, and then fortunately, this is where luck comes into play. Kasi like ko sinasabi, luck. I don't really believe in much in luck, but I wanna be doing the right thing so that when luck, comes in, I'm all set, diba? So this is where luck comes in. I was vlogging the whole time. Siguro may mga 30 plus articles ako and stuff. And then this guy, sabi niya, John, I really like the way you write. How would you like me to send you this premium WordPress theme? Tapos, et cetera, et cetera. Ako naman, premium WordPress theme back then was like 4,000 pesos. Wala nga akong pera din. So, sabi ko, sure, why not? Diba? Ganid ako eh. So, kinuha ko yung WordPress theme. Tapos, ang ganda na nung site ko. Tapos, yung pala, binabasa pa rin niya binabasa. So, after like a couple of weeks yata or a month, minessage niya ulit ako. He said, dude, I think you're a perfect guy to write emails for us. Yun yung
and taking a step back, how did this guy find you?
That's the thing. I have no idea.
But did he find your blog? Where did you have? You didn't, because you didn't have an Upwork profile, right? Did you have a LinkedIn? Did you have like a professional LinkedIn profile, or was it your blog that drove this guy to find you?
Ito kasi di ba dati uso pa yung Google Plus, right?
Oh, yeah.
Google Plus pa. Every time I post something on my blog, it appears on Google Plus. I have connections there, but I don't really leverage my connections. I just want to have a connection. Ayun, so he just so happened to find me, which is I didn't really say na parang I know na parang isang mo ko nakita, di ba? Parang assuming naman ako na kalat yung pangalan ko sa labas. Kasi hindi naman talaga ako nagmo-marketing. So hindi ko na siya tinanong. But yeah, so that's what he said. Like he likes my blog, blah blah blah, and he thinks I'm the perfect guy to write emails for them. So ang sabi ko naman, yeah.
Oh, sorry. So he did find you with your blog. Sabi ni Shodan, totoo pala sabi ng mga experts then. Because this guy found you through the blog, and you wouldn't. Well, maybe you'd still be here today, even if this guy didn't find you. But this is the guy who really paved your future and to who you are right now, diba? He's the guy who like helped you take that first step, right?
I mean, in a sense, siguro, kasi what really happened was when I got him as a client, diba, wala akong alam sa email. Sabi niya, alam mo ba email? Sabi ko, sure, why not? Diba? Ang dali na maggumawa ng email. Hello, Mr. Pagulayan. I'd like to excuse my son. Ganun. Alam ko ganun yung email. And then he showed me yung kung ano gusto niyang gawin. I was like, what the F? Hindi ko alam to. Wala akong kinalaman dito. Parang ganun. So, but I told him, syempre, galing-galingin ako. Wala akong pera. So, galing-galingan ako. Sabi ko, yeah, I could do that. Give me 2 weeks. I could write those emails. Parang ganun. Okay. Sige. Parang binigyan niya ako. Tapos he sent me yung payment. Sige, pinag-aralan ko yung email marketing in 2 weeks, like really absorbed. Like yung 9 months nga, nag-aaral ako ng walang pera, di ba? So ito, may pag-aaralan na talaga ako ng may pera. Pinag-aralan ko talaga siya. So I started email there. But ito nga yung mali doon eh. Naganid ako. Like, swapang eh. Uy, meron palang copywriting world sa labas, di ba? And I can
how much were you paid for this like the first gig you had?
First gig, I think I was paid like $12. Per email to.
Per email. Okay. That's not horrible. Not horrible naman for a beginner.
Yeah, not horrible, but now that I think about it, it was horrible.
Yeah, now compared to your rates right now, di ba? Pero that was your first time. And $10. Ako nga dati, $5 per hour. Wow, I can earn $5 per hour with this stuff. So I was really excited.
Siguro, I mean, but back then I wasn't writing emails one email per hour. It was taking me like 3 emails per hour. I mean, 3 hours per email pala.
3 hours per email, okay.
So parang lugi ako. Feeling ko sakto lang. But when I got the money, I was doing the happy dance. Parang ganun pa ako. Parang lahat ng makasulubong ko, "Oy, what's up?" Ganun kasi like, I can generate money online. Yun lang naman yun eh. But naganid ako about copywriting. And imbis na makilala ako as email guy, I began chasing other people na copywriting. So I was gaining traction as an email guy. Kasi when I did this project, bumalik sila sa akin. Like, John, I have a good news and a bad news. Sabi ko, give me the bad news. Well, I'll give you the good news first. The good news the good news is that you write like a girl. Sabi ko, is that... Sabi ko, parang hindi na siya good news, diba? You write like a girl.
Oh.
Yeah, but he says, no, that's actually good because you don't write logically. You write targeting the emotions of people. Ganun daw magsulat ang babae. That's what they're having problems with sa mga freelancers nila na lalaki kasi they can't really, let go of feelings. Yeah.
You're in touch with your feelings pala. Ganun.
I know.
That's what he's trying to say.
Kaya ako. Tapos, the bad news was, we're gonna hire you for more emails. So, do you have the time for parang ganun? And to think that the emails really performed well, which is unheard of, kasi we got like 80% open rates all throughout the sequence, which is really high. Now that I think about it, it's really high. Tapos, dati, when she said, 80% open rates, nalungkot ako kasi 80% yung nag-open. Sa totoo lang, wala akong alam about email marketing. So, bakit ganun out of 100, 80 lang nagbubukas? Grabe naman yung benta. Bakit na problema? But now
that 25, masaya na sa 25, 85.
Yeah, so they're really ecstatic about it. So, parang they were building me up as the email guy. But still, I was earning siguro nagtamas na yung rate ko ng konti, $15 na per email. Hanggang sa naging $20 per email. Tapos, I was being known as the email guy. That's when I got really serious about copywriting.
Mm-hmm. And so you said you studied all this in 2 weeks, but you still continued learning, diba, afterwards, especially once you started raising your rates. Like, because this is the challenge of a lot of newbie freelancers, diba? It's like, first of all, they don't know what niche to choose. Ikaw, parang you were given a specific niche by client, right?
Right. But the problem was back then I didn't know what a niche was. I didn't even know what niching is. So, yun nga yung downfall ko eh. I removed myself from the email copywriting world and went out as a normal general copywriting guy.
Yeah.
Yun. So that's what happened. And dun yung parang wala akong kinikita, may months na wala akong kinikita, may months na meron naman, parang naging inconsistent siya. So that's when I searched for a mentor. Like this guy na nakita ko, gusto ko yung ginagawa niya and stuff. So I stalked him, almost kidnapped his family para lang turuan niya ako.
Who was this guy?
That's why he made me famous. I can't really say kasi wala siyang coaching program eh. So he's an ordinary
foreign or local
foreign. I don't know if it's American or Ukrainian something, but hindi American yung ano niya, yung pangalan niya. Basta when I approached him, parang sabi niya, I don't mentor people. Sabi ko, sige na, parang awa mo na. Sabi ko, abangan kita sa labas, ganun.
I know where you live.
I know where you live. I know what time you take your trash out. So parang nakulitan niya sa akin kasi I've been stalking him for like every time he's gonna post something in his Facebook, I'm gonna be the first to comment. Alam mo yan, talagang tamang nakakatakot na yung ginagawa ko. Tapos, parang he said, sige, tuturuan kita. Sabi niya, if you can put half of what you're doing right now, stalking me, siguro naman into freelancing, siguro naman magiging successful ka. Yun yung parang sabi niya. Okay, sabi ko, tuwa na ako. Sige, wait for my email tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. So, nag-email siya sa akin. Ito yung price, $5,000. Yung price ng coaching program niya. Sabi ko, what the hell? Kasi parang kaya mo nang bumili ng kotse noon, like $5,000. Diba?
Yeah.
Not 250, 250 something. So, I was thinking about it. Kung kukunin ko ba talaga or nababalik na ako.
That time, you already had the 5,000. You already made enough na to pay for it.
No. Yun yung problema. That was only like an additional, siguro 40,000 a month. Kasama nung sahod ko. So, sabi natin mga 70,000. But that's like working the whole time. Kumbaga wala na akong energy para saan ko pa kukunin yung mga extra kliyente? I mean, diba? Saan ko pa kukunin yung extra kliyente? Kasi minsan wala pa akong kita. So, ayun, parang na talaga, parang it was like now or never na. Parang, sige, pag hindi ko to nagawa, bano ako, parang gano'n. Hindi na, pag hindi ko to nagawa, baka pagsisiyan ko. Parang ganun yung, So, what we did was, we agreed upon like a monthly $1,000 na, para manageable naman. Yeah. So after that, installment based. So after that, that's where everything came together. Parang siguro mga wala pa akong 2 months into the coaching. Andun na siya.
So like wala pang 2 months. Like what do you mean by andun na siya? Like define that.
Sabihin natin 30,000-40,000 a month. My income jumped from there to 200,000. Parang ganun.
Wow, in 2 months.
In 2 months. 2 to 3 months, mga ganun. Which was really unbelievable kasi ito yung nakakatawa dun eh. I have no website. I was no longer doing anything. I have no website. I have no portfolio. I have no certifications. I'm not a college graduate. English was my third language. Diba? Probinsyano ako. So first is Bicol, second is Tagalog, third is English. So literally every excuse that a freelancer has for not doing freelancing, actually, yun na yun eh. Thanks for watching our interview.
Yeah. One of the staff is posting that. It's not me. It's not me. Pogi kasi sabi ni Sean.
It went from there to 200, which was really unbelievable. And the only thing that I did na binago ko talaga is yung mindset. Yun yung nakakatawang part dun. So I was doing everything the same.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was doing everything the same eh. Like the emails that I'm writing when I was in 30,000 pesos was the same emails that I'm writing 200. The same amount, same length. I have the same skills. Diba? Yun yung part na dun eh.
So without this mindset that you learned from the mentor, parang you'd still be at the 30,000, 40,000 level. If you didn't, mga what ifs, diba? What ifs. What if you didn't sign up for this mentorship program? We don't know what would have happened. But if you were to parang predict what would have happened. If you said 5,000, mahal naman yan, I won't go for it, and then you buy a car instead of spending $5,000 on a mentorship. What do you think would have happened?
I'd be the one commenting here asking how.
You need people here.
Yeah, that what would have happened. I'll be commenting on posts asking how po. Kasi malamang I'd be broke by then. Kasi I'm working. Nakakapagod yun. You're working and doing. Baka mamaya sabi ko sa sarili ko, mag-work na lang ako. Yun yung kababagsakan ko.
Oh, you get promoted sa corporate, get 50,000, di ba? Parang that's the regular trend. Yeah, most people are happy, when they reach that point. Parang okay na, they won't look for anything else, not knowing that they can earn 200 or higher pa rin, 500,000 a month, or even $1 million a month, in some cases.
Yeah, ganun tayo, di ba? Our culture is like to cease to believe. Ganun yung preba muna bago kwento, etc. Kasi we believe a whole lot of things. Wala naman talagang kinalaman sa atin. We believe na porket alam ng kanon na Pinoy tayo, mababa na ba sisigilin natin? That's BS. Kalokohan yun.
That's one of your pet peeves. I've noticed. That's like one of your pet peeves. Whenever a freelancer says, I can't charge that much because I'm a Filipino. Yeah, but we hear that a lot. Pero
ganun din nakakala ko dati. That's why I'm pissed. Kasi nakikita mo yung sarili mo dati. Alam mo yun? Nakikita mo yung sarili mo dati, asar na asar ka. Kaya ako asar na asar kasi shit, parang ako to eh. Kailangan mabago yung isip mo to kasi pag hindi, aanahin pa rin, di ba? Hindi pa rin kababagsakan niya.
Oh, and like I've never imagined that I'd be able to charge parang $100 an hour. Parang I'd like, if somebody told me like 5 years ago that I'd be able to charge $100 per hour, I'd be like, you must be high or something. Parang ganun, di ba? Pero so I can understand why a lot of our newbies really don't believe, even though you show them. I posted my fresh books in dati. Parang a lot of people still wouldn't believe it, and you just showed yours. So I understand why a lot of people wouldn't believe it. But what I do want to tell everybody that it is possible. We're living testaments to it really being possible. And this is not like without having to scam people, diba? That's what people think when you're earning this much. Parang you're doing something shady na, diba?
Well, in fact, wala pa naman akong iniimbitahan para magkape. Tapos tanongin ng open-minded. Wala pa naman.
So let's continue with your journey. So you got this mentor, and then 2 months in, you were able to charge like $200,000 a month. And then like from that point, that was when you really, your eye open. I guess that was like your, they call that, they have a certain term for that. I guess your turning point or your wow moment that you had that. And then what happened to get to where you are now? Were you just riding the wave and then you just got to where you are now, or were there any other significant happenings after that?
So hindi ako nadala. I hired another mentor to get me to the next level. Para this time, kasi alam ko na yung power ng mindset eh. So this time, I hired another one who specializes in mindset. I paid him like 8,000. So 2,000 every month. But yeah, ito naman yung nakakatawa dun. Like after 6 months, yung 200, alam mo na kung nakalabasan. It's this. And I don't know, kasi I've been, ito pa lang, like charging per hour. Diba? I'm not saying charging per hour is wrong. If you want to charge per hour, that's yours. That's your prerogative. Diba? But when you really have the right mindset to do things, what's gonna happen is, may isip mo, if I charge per hour, edi parang dinaya ko yung client. Let's say, for example, ikaw, pinagawa mo ako ng website, banu ako. So it took me 20 hours to do a simple task. Tapos babayaran mo ako ng marami kasi banu ako. Tapos nung gumaling na ako, 2 years after, kinuha mo ulit ako, kasi nagustuhan mo naman yung gawa ko kahit 20 hours na ginamit, ang inabot. Tapos this time, it only took like 2 hours. So, mapera mo ako for 2 hours dahil magaling na ako. It doesn't make sense eh. I mean, there's a place for hourly work, but if you're bringing a whole lot of value to your client's business, you're doing them and yourself a disservice by doing per hour. Yun lang yung mindset doon. Like, your mindset is always to give value to other people. Like, I have people asking me, Sir John, paano ako makapag-charge ng mataas tapos wala akong masyadong skills? Tanong ko naman sa kanya, can you bring results to the clients? Hindi pa po. So, anong karapatan na mag-charge ng mataas? I mean, di ba? Bakit? Parang sinabi ko sa'yo, ito pill, inumin mo, papayat ka, tapos hindi siya papayat, pero binayaran mo ako. Di ba scammer ako nun?
Oo.
I mean, that's the mindset that I come from. Di ba?
Totally agree.
You don't need to be really, really good at what you do. In fact, sabi ko nga lagi, there are tons of people who are doing a better job than what I do. The only reason that I get this much, like I get this whole lot of, like this much fees for what I do, is that I always see to it that whatever I do, contributes to the client's, bottom line or sa business. If it's gonna help him, have free time, have more money, have the peace of mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yun lang yun eh.
Yung end benefit talaga ng client.
I'd be comfortable to charge higher fees.
Yeah, and
it risks, ganun.
And I agree, because I like a couple of months ago I posted in WAP, I don't know if you saw the post where I said like I charge $5 per minute for clients to talk to me, and this is an example of what they asked, the questions they asked me, and right. Somebody asked, so how can I charge that much? So I don't know if the members of the group, if they found me mean or masungit, but I asked, okay, can you answer the questions? Can you tell the client what to do with their business? And wala nang reply. So
Totoo yan. I mean, sabi ko nga, what's your biggest challenge when it comes to freelancing? Ang laging tinatanong, how can I get more skilled? How can I get more clients? How can I blah? But never have I ever received a reply saying, how can I help my clients?
Mm-hmm.
Wala. Ni isa wala pang nagsasend sa akin. Inisip natin po sa sarili. Now, if you ask me that question, how can you help more clients? Dude, tutulungan talaga ng well, di na-counted niyan kasi alam na nila.
Wala na. So, guys, you know what to do at PM.
But seriously, if you're really out there to bring value to the world, because we think of this as a money-making scheme. But I believe but I don't believe na I'm making money just because I'm good at stuff, but rather I'm getting money because I'm giving way more value than what
exactly.
they receive. Yun eh.
Exactly. And well, it's kind of, the thing is though, it's kind of hard to discuss it in a short, like this whole concept, this whole mindset.
Exactly.
Business value. I have this session in my masterclass today, like discussing this, and it's still difficult. We spent like an hour and a half just talking about the specific topic, and it's still it's still difficult. Like it's still, because it's a huge difference compared to what we're used to. So it's like a huge. You paid $5,000 to make that mindset change, right? So
right.
It's not something that's immediate. It's not something it's not like a switch that you can just turn on. But I guess for everyone watching, you can keep that in mind, that you can just start now, even though, I saw some people asking if like they're asking, oh, John, can you be my mentor? And asking me then if
no.
I can, I know, diretso na, wala nang sugar coating. No, yun na agad.
No, but I do help people. It's just that I don't have time to mentor. Yun lang. It's just, it's not that I don't. Baka they might get the wrong idea na sungit mo muna. Wala lang talaga. I mean, I don't mentor people. I just help out whenever I can.
Oh, and I have a mentorship program, pero I'm not like it's.
Yun.
I understand why John doesn't mentor because it's extremely stressful in a sense to mentor people because you're like when with my mentees, I guess you call them mentees, parang their success is my success. So parang the stress and the pressure, and then there's a lot of communication and ganun. So I do have a program, pero I'm gonna finish my program in a couple of weeks, and then I'm gonna take like at least a 4-month break before we do it again. So
pa talaga si LJ may kasalanan yun.
si LJ, he's one of my mentees, and LJ kasalanan ito talaga. Bakit? Why I have to take 4 months of rest in between the two mentorship programs?
Ay, teka bro, saglit lang. Can I excuse myself for a second? Baka malobat bigla yung laptop.
Sige. Plug mo muna.
Dali.
Sige. So, while John's getting his charger, LJ just messaged me. Sorry to pick on you, LJ. While John's getting his charger, I understand why John doesn't take mentees. Is his fridge moving or is that just me? His fridge is moving. Okay. Or is it the computer moving? But the sad truth is it's hard. It's hard. And that's why he paid his mentor $5,000 because it's like that focus and that kind of hands-on interaction is very valuable for the mentees and for the mentor, the guy who John hired. It takes up a lot of time, energy, and not just time, but mental space that having the mentor care for your success is, it just takes up a lot of, like I say, mental space. So that's why you'd pay premium rates to get the mentorship. And my mentorship program is also pretty, it's, a lot of people find it expensive, pero it's like, I'm not sure how much I'm going to price it, but it's like probably pricing it at like 30,000 pesos. So it's not $5,000, it's like $600. So a lot less than what John paid because I want to make it affordable din. Kind of affordable, for Filipinos. By the way, I think you're charging na, bro.
Teka lang, papasukin ko na yung aso ko saglit lang. Ano ba naman to?
Dami namang mga timeouts. We're gonna ask your questions real soon, guys. So keep them coming. I'm not ignoring your questions. We just, we had this good conversation going. But yeah, feel free to ask your questions. We have a lot of questions. I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to cover everything. We'll try, but I'm just scrolling down with all the comments here. We have so many comments. Okay na, bro?
Okay na, bro. Game.
Sige. So is it, do you have any, I'm about to start the questions, but before we start, do you have anything else you want to add?
Well, I just want to say yung sinabi mo kanina na 30,000 something. Actually, sabi ko nga kay Jason, maliit yun. When he was asking kung tama siya. Kasi, I mean, think about it. He's bringing you to 100K a month. Diba? Like any business with a sane na alam yung value ng investment. 30K, 100. It's not even a choice, eh. Diba? If you price it over 100K, medyo mag-iisip ka na. Pero, I mean, yun yung lang gusto kong i-add. Like, we Filipinos are not really investment-minded in a way. Like, lagi sa akin nagtatanong, actually, di naman ako nagagalit. Medyo, it just, siguro na, naasar lang ng konti when people say na, sir, buti ka pa, libre ka nagbibigay ng mga advice and stuff. Like, it's like they make it seem na yung mga naniningil masamang tao. Ganun yung dating sa akin eh. And it rubs me off the wrong way. Kasi, dude, you're asking for value. Ang kapalit nun, pera. It could be another value or pera. Para kasi, when they put it that way, parang they, it puts a limit on their mindset when it comes to charging clients. It transfers dun sa ginagawa nila. If you think you're not able to afford this amount, then pagdating sa clients, ang naiisip mo rin, sino naman kaya magbabayad ng ganyan kamahal sa akin?
Exactly.
Yun eh. Dalawang bagay lang yun eh, di ba? Because what you see sa sarili mo, you're reflected in the world. I know it's kind of woo-woo and di bagay para sa taong may tattoo na nagsasalita ng mga value and stuff. But it's true. So, yun lang.
Thank you for that, John. Kasi we get a lot of well, not naman a lot, but we get that criticism from time to time naman, of why we're charging to teach people. But anyway, moving on. Let's move on to the question. Thank you for that, John. But let's move on to the questions for now. So we had some questions from a couple of days ago. A lot of people were hyped to really see this. So let's start with Abby de Villar's question. How do you decide that copywriting is your tool to what you are now? So why email copywriting? I guess this we kind of answered this earlier, but I guess we can go over it again. Why did you focus on email copywriting?
I didn't really. That's the thing. It's not. Ito kasi when people think about freelancing, they're thinking about it's some sort of a big destiny na itong skill ko, mahanap ko yung mga clients na gusto yung skill ko. I mean, they make it sound really romantic, but the truth is, muntik na ako sumuko sa email copywriting. I just decided, I just chose to stick with it.
Mm-hmm.
I just chose to stick with it. I could have gone website design, SEO, when I see people saying na, uy, parang laki ng kita nila, parang ako feeling ko, bakit sa akin ang liit? Tapos website design ang laki. Kasi back then, there were no email copywriters who are successful na nagpapakita ng income and stuff. So I always think na kapag nag-SEO, kapag naging consultant ako, those misconceptions. But then I chose to be the best in what I do, and that's when everything started falling in place. Kasi when you're the best at what you do, you just stuck to one market, one skill, and you're really good at it. It's like being a sniper, na sniper lang talaga yung baril mo, compared to sniper na pinapractice mo Uzi, 45, diba? You're not gonna be a good sniper.
4-1, diba?
4-1, diba? Hindi, yung sniper yata 4-6 ba? 6-4 yata.
At 4-1 is the, carbine. Anyway. Ayun.
But yeah, you have to stick with it, with what you do. But the important thing there is you're solving a problem that's worth paying. Yun yung importante dun. Whatever that is, find that skill, hone on it, focus on it for 1-2 months until you get better at it, and then find clients who offer it to clients who you think have a problem with that, with na kailangan ng skill na yun. We make it sound as if na parang ang hirap, like kailangan mong ma-uncover yung deep talent mo. Truth is, I don't even write. Yung nakatawa doon, I'm an engineer. I didn't even get to graduate engineering. So it's kind of weird that di ba? Ang weird copywriting, paano? Ang layo, engineer, tapos email copywriting. But yeah. It wasn't a skill na I was innate na talent ko.
You just chose it.
Yeah, I just chose it and stuck with it.
Yeah. Ako nga accounting, so medyo malayo din. And I agree with what John said. Ako naman, whenever I get bored, I change my niche when I was freelancing. So that's a little bit different. So, but I was always able to charge. The thing is, if you know how to charge premium rates, you can do it wherever. Even as a VA, you can do it. What I did, I charged premium rates as a web designer. I charged premium rates as an SEO. I charged premium rates as a consultant for Facebook ads and for funnels. So because I know how to address clients' needs. So if you know how to address clients' needs, what like John's been talking about earlier, you can charge premium rates no matter what niche you choose. But the important thing is you choose a niche, because a lot of people just like, I want to do everything all at the same time. Pero it's important to choose a niche. Ako, I get bored easily, so I've been kind of Not because I'd make a lot of money in one niche, like in SEO dati. Pero I got bored of it. So I wanted to do something different. Iba ako eh. Medyo ADD.
Do it eh. I mean, yun yung importante dun eh.
Oh, yeah, you have to be able to do the skill then, of course. You can't just jump in without knowing the skill. But the point is, even if you're not a super expert at something, you can charge rates if you know how to address clients' needs and addressing clients' needs basically. There's a question here from Juliet Casing. She has a couple of questions, but I'm gonna ask this one. So how do you deal, and I'm just kind of paraphrasing the questions a little bit. How do you deal with like rejections, and when is it a time to question your capability, skills, or to change to another specialization?
Okay. Now, if ito yung sa akin eh, like rejection, I don't know if I've already told the story about the Starbucks challenge.
No, you haven't.
That my manager made me do. Like I have to go to Starbucks and ask for a freaking discount. It's nakakahiya kasi affluent yung mga tao doon mo prepare, tapos ikaw nandito ka, tapos nangihingi ka ng discount. But it was supposed to make me focus on the process and not on the results. Yun yung gusto niyang malaman ko. So after the Starbucks challenge, pinapunta naman niya ako ng grocery. Yun naman yung grocery challenge. Ang challenge ko naman is, kapag lumabas yung mga alis na may dalang bag, sabihin ko sa kanila, can I help you with that? Okay. Yun lang, poker face, can I help you with that? With a smile. Tapos, it's either sabihin na lang, yes, dalhin mo to doon sa kotse or hindi. Eh, di ba, since tatuan niya ako and then stuff. So parang unang tingin pa lang nila sa akin, parang, bumbat takbo mo pa, di ba? Mukhang wala kang kinakain. So, at first I didn't get it. But the more I do it, kasi go to the challenge, it was like over 20 times ko yata ang ginawa. Like, repeatedly hearing no, it numbs you na, and you begin to realize they're saying no not because of you. It's just that they don't want yung action, which is yung pagdadala ng bag. They just don't want you doing that. Same thing with your service. It's not a reflection of who you are. Diba? Hindi porket sinabing no sa mamong tao, diba? It's not that. It's that they don't need your service right now. Now, sino ba magsasabi, like, do you have a specific rule kapag 10 strikeouts na ba? Kailangan na ba akong sumuko, etc. Now, my rule is 6 out of 10. For every 10 clients I'm speaking with, kailangan I have to enroll, or not really enroll, but be able to get 6 as clients. Anything higher than that, then I'm charging low. Anything lower than that, then there's something wrong with the way I speak with clients. So parang yun yung tina-target ko natin.
Ako 4 out of 10 yung rule ko eh. Baliktad yung inverse.
As na breaks naman ito.
I'm lazy eh, so I'd rather deal with 4 out of 10 clients. Laziness yun. Angelo Ramos is asking, any advice on how to handle finances, especially if you're still starting out? Like, when's the right time to invest in new materials like laptop, healthcare, emergency fund, and so on?
Okay. So, well, the first thing is, you should always invest in your business. Diba? Kasi we always, parang, kita nyo itong bago kong workstation, etc. Tapos, di naman siya nakakuha ng clients. It doesn't, it's an investment that doesn't make sense. Diba? So if ever I'm gonna before na medyo gipit sa pera, if I was gonna make an investment, I make sure that it's either contributing to my business or else. Pag hindi ko siya binibili. Say for example, in a business you need to get leads. Diba? You need to get people that you have to talk to para maging clients. And one thing that I can use is that yung mga scraper, mga email scraper.
Yeah.
So back then I didn't have that. So when I got the money, kahit yun lang yung extra money ko, I bought a scraper. Alam mo yun? Like, things that would help make your business easier. Because once you've done that, tapos smooth running na yung business mo, you can already highlight yung someone to do the website for you, or alam mo yun, mga ganong bagay. And now you can start yung sa mga tipong luho. Kasi, to be honest, like laptop, tapos writer lang naman, tapos yung laptop yung pang gaming na sobrang laki, nakala mo naman, di ba? Ano, akala mo, kinayaman mo yan, bakit may laptop kang malaki? It's not, di ba? You're a writer at the very, at, you know, at best, yung pinaka-abutin mo nung, is Google Docs. Yun yung parang pinaka-solid na, na
maghahanap Scrivener, mga ganon, di ba? For book writing.
Hindi kasi
Grabe ka naman, Google Docs.
Hindi kasi naasal lang ako na, na people are more concerned about how they look to other people rather than really, masabi lang na, mukhang okay siya, mukhang mayaman siya, mukhang okay naman yung business niya, when in fact, your business is suffering because you've been investing into these other things, hindi naman karapat-dapat, diba? So, yun. Para akong magulang na nagagalit dito sa interview na to. Sorry na.
Oo nga. Parang anak mo lang. But yeah, I agree. Make wise investments that will really improve the business. Otherwise, if it's a question mark, wag muna. Sige, moving on, we're supposed to end this at 6:30 kasi I have something at 7. Pero we'll try to extend this a little bit. Let's run through some more questions here. So Aaron Magalong is asking for both of us, do you have any daily routines or habits that make an impact in terms of your productivity?
Okay. When you say productivity, like what is it exactly are you talking about? Kasi I only, it has to contribute to your business lagi. Like if it's not going to increase the number of people I talk to or leads and other stuff, like sales calls, then my day is not productive. Yun lang yun eh. Even if I created a website, even if I wrote 1,000 emails, even if I blank whatever that is, and it took me 8 hours, tuloy-tuloy, walang pahinga, dire-diretso, I still can't call it productive. So what my day starts with, I wake up, the best thing you can do for yourself is throw away your phone the moment you wake up. Throw your phone away. Tapos, have breakfast, exercise, take a bath, build a routine. And the first 2 hours of your day, of your working days, should be focused on building your leads, or should be focused on getting those clients. If what you're doing is not, kasi ito yung mali sa atin, we spend a whole lot of time building other people's businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Diba? Like, bukas gagawin yung website ng client. But we never stop to think na, when am I gonna build mine? When am I gonna build my business? So first 1 to 2 hours of your day, build your own business. Build your own business, and then next, that's the time that you build your business. Kasi yung pinaka-focus na time mo should be reserved for your business, not other people's business. Yun yung take about productivity and how I plan my day. And someone asked like how much do I work in a day? Sometimes 3-4 hours, mga So pwede na.
Just to add to what John said, so I guess like the one saying that I like is, one thing I like saying is, are you working in your business or on your business? So are you busy like working in your business, or are you working growing your business? So that's one thing you can take away. For me then, in or on, it's prepositions fine. Anyway, one thing I want to add regarding daily routines is, John said build a routine. That's important. I also want to add that even like downtime is also important. Like having your own, not just working, because a lot of people will think, I should work 10 hours a day and be productive 10 hours a day and so on. Pero it's it gets to a point when it's counterproductive. Meaning, ako after 4 hours of working, like intense working, my brain just stops. It stops producing good content, stops producing good work. So I don't really work past 4 hours so much, and I try to work, but just relax so that the next day I can do work again and bring my best to my work. So that's something about daily routines. The second question is about best places in Asia, Philippines or Asia for digital nomads.
That's for you.
So for Philippines, I'm not too sure. I heard Davao was really good. I haven't checked it out. In Asia, well, everyone's going to Thailand. Actually, Thailand has good cheap internet, good cheap food, good cheap housing. So yeah, Thailand is like, I'd say it's a great place for digital nomads. I'm gonna check out Japan. Is like my next big project to check out. Hopefully, pero the problem is you kind of have to learn Japanese. So that's like, we'll see how it goes. Wish me luck, guys, for Japan. Let's see what other questions here we have. Anne, where was that question from Anne Kapungkol? Scroll. Okay. So when you ask for increases, you're the one who increased your rate per email from 10 to 15 to 20, and then you increased your earnings, so on. So I guess the follow-up question here is, how did you tell your first client that you were increasing from 10 to 15 to $20 per email?
Oh, that was easy. All I did was send him a message saying, hey, ano pong name ng client ko? Clay yata. Hey, Clay. So, I'm planning to raise my email prices after 2 months, parang ganun. 2 months after, let's say for example ngayon, ano ba ngayon, June, July, August. I'm planning to increase my rates by August, and I just want to give you a heads up, just in case you want to get someone to replace me, or if you want to still work with me, here would be my blah 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 rates, parang ganun. And then now, if you're not gonna, if we're not gonna be working together anymore, that's cool. I understand. But in case we do, well, I hope we do, blah, blah, blah. Parang ganun. I gave them a heads up na mawawala na ako kasi mag-increase na ako ng price. But I was also respectful of their time to find someone new na pwedeng pumalit sa akin. Kasi you really can't force clients to pay you a whole lot na hindi naman talaga nila kaya. So if you're gonna do this, better make sure that you're prepared to lose a client. Yun lang yun eh. Yun lang yung kailangan na pag-prepare lang. People are saying there's no video.
Yeah, but there's audio is supposedly okay. So this is turning into an audio interview. A couple of people have dropped off. Yeah, there's the video. I think they're refreshing. So guys, video is gone. I think it's the software that we're using, but we're still going to continue because we have audio. Baka naman if we log off, matech issues naman. So let's just pasensya guys. This is just going to be an audio interview from this point on. So there are like some repeat questions, and some of these questions have been answered in the interview, so I won't go over them. You can watch the replay to get the answer to this. Let's see. You have a haunted fridge now, because we saw your fridge move, by the way. I'm not sure if it was the camera or if your fridge was really moving.
Actually moved it kasi yung charging station, charging socket nasa likod ng ref. So,
Aiza Kabilan, tapos may matigas pa ng ulo ng menti. Ano message? Oh nga, si Aiza.
Wait, congratulations nga pala kay Aiza. Ayan. She closed another client.
Congratulations. Yeah. Nice, yeah. So mga students na matigas na ulo, pero when they get results, you can say it's worth it. Matigas yung ulo mo.
Yeah, kasi they don't stop.
What's that?
They also don't stop. Like matigas yung ulo nila, but once they set their mind to something, they also don't stop. So, yun yung kapag nakakuha na sila na, tuturuan mo sila ng tama, they're just, parang bull na dire-diretso na lang, wala nang pakialam.
So, worth it pa rin, worth it. Louis May is asking, when do you suggest getting a mentor? Like when you're starting, 3 to 6 months, 1 year?
When you're ready. You'll feel it when you're ready. Like you're ready to accept that you can't do it alone. That's when you get a mentor. Kasi I can tell you get a mentor right now, but the thing is, yung mentor mo, maasar lang sa'yo kasi you won't accept feedback, you won't accept criticism, you won't accept yung tawag dito, yung mga real talk. Mga ganun. Kasi, sarado pa isip mo na you're not yet ready. But when you're at the end of the, of your rope, as parang, dude, kailangan ko na ng tulong. Now you're ready. Kasi, willing to accept feedback, criticism, suggestions. So, ang utak kasi natin, kapag sarado, mahirap turuan.
Yeah, that's right. And I agree. When I didn't share my story about when I got a mentor for business, but I got a mentor when I realized I couldn't do this on my own anymore. Like I got to a certain point na hanggang dito lang ako on my own, and I needed someone to help me get to the next stage.
Right.
John, Honey's asking, did you have a formula? Did you use math when you computed your new rates?
No, I just throw a number. Actually, sabi nga ng mga tropa ko because back then, like when we were drinking, kasi I'm gonna hop on a sales call. Kasi may dark dati dito. So sabi ko, kapag tumama to dun sa green, 5,000 sisingilin ko. That's how random my prices are back then. And people pay for it. Kasi tayo lang naman yung nag-iisip na sino magbabayad ng $5,000 para sa 10 email. That's what you're thinking. Diba? But what the client was thinking is 5,000 tapos kukita ako ng 100,000 sa 10 email. Okay, game. Diba? We always think na tayo yung clients. Kaya sino magbabayad ng 1,000? Sino magbabayad ng... Huwag ka na kayo mag-freelance, no? Lagi mo yung... Sino magbabayad? Magbabayad sila. Yun. Tapos, magbabayad sila. If they know that it's valuable, they would know. Trust me. They would know if it's valuable. And they would pay you the amount that's equal or even greater than that. It's just that it's us who have this limiting belief na pag Pinoy ka, hindi ka babayaran ng mahal. Yun lang yun.
And ako din what I did before is I just tried charging random numbers until somebody said no. Until a lot of people said no. Dati nag-try ako website, $1,200, $1,200. Yes, okay, parang cheap. $2,000. Dami, parang yes. Next, $4,000. So may nagno na ng konti. When I just charging like $6,000 sa mga websites, parang marami nang nagno. So I scaled it back to the $4,000 level. So that's how I did my pricing before when I was doing that.
We think na there's a science behind the way we price things. The truth of the matter is parang actually tipikit ka lang 5,000. Sa totoo lang, ganoon talaga siya. It's I can't explain how it is, but talaga eh.
Sir, I guess what you have to think about is that the value you bring your clients is a lot more than what you're charging. So if you're charging $5,000, then the client has to get at least twice in return from what you're charging them. So that's what you keep in mind. So yeah, our screen isn't. Wala talaga. It's not coming back. So sorry about the technical issues, guys.
This will be recorded on the screen. So.
I'm not. That's the thing. I'm not sure about if the screen's included in the recording because I'm just using the Facebook to record this. So
part two.
Oh yeah, we'll space it. That's if you're willing, why not? This is a good interview. It's a very fun interview, and a lot of people have commented that they love this interview. So you did
nice.
You did great, John. So let's well, I'll just answer this question from Louis. She's asking if I'm a CPA. Louis May, Sir Jason, are you a CPA? Possible about to earn that much if you know accounting but don't have a license? Well, we practice my accounting knowledge when I became a web designer and an SEO because it has nothing to do with accounting. I graduated accounting in college, but I focused on other things. Yeah, when I was working, like in the call center, I focused on something else, and then nowadays, like I do my own accounting, but that's it. I don't do accounting for clients. So up to you. I mean, there are bookkeepers that charge a lot of money. So you can definitely build a bookkeeping business, or you can do what I did, which is learn something else. So you have a lot of choices. Sige. Let's close out here. Yeah, a lot of people have dropped off because wala ng video. They probably think there's technical issues. But Emmanuel Texon is saying part 2. So definitely in the future, let's revisit probably a couple of months from now. So as we close out, John, do you have any advice that you want to leave with the freelancers?
Sabi ko na nga ba tatanungin mo ako na hindi ako naganda.
Oh, I warned you beforehand. Parang this is a question everyone gets. Eh.
Ito na lang. I have people asking me like, what skills do I need to learn? What blank do I need to learn? To be honest, I've sold like 3,000 and above na services on a skill that I don't have. I've sold Facebook ads. I don't know a single thing about Facebook ads. I've sold on sa bots. I'm selling people sa bots with LJ by posting on a Facebook group. I mean, you can literally sell something that you don't have. So if you're not getting any clients, it's not your skill really. It's your marketing that sucks. So if you're gonna study something, right, make sure that it's about marketing. It's about getting clients, being able to talk to them, and being able to pitch them on your offer. Okay, that's the only way you can get direct clients, and that's the only way that you can reach yung mga income na sinasabi natin ni Jason. Kasi pamami naisip nila, so naman kaya na kinukuha nitong mga client nila, nanluloko naman itong dalawang ito. But truth of the matter is, if you don't look for them, they're not gonna show up. You know. So find them, talk to them, find out what their problems are, help them, and then you offer your services. And that's kind of like the simple formula for getting those really huge fees.
Oh, yep. That's great. Definitely great advice. It's something that most of our listeners will have to, parang it's going to be an egg that's going to hatch because it's a big difference you have to make parang in the mindset and the way that we do things in order to reach that level. So right now, let's just the seeds pala. Just have that seed planted in your head, and then slowly. I know you guys won't be able to do this right away. Most people won't be able to do this right away. But what I want you to do is plant that seed right now that this is possible, and then I need to work on my marketing. I need to work on my dealing with clients and solving their needs. Slowly keep on watering that seed so that it'll grow. If you want the fast track, of course, you can get a mentor like what John did. But yeah, just on your own, I want you guys to just slowly water that seed until it grows into like a forest. Parang grabe ng metaphors. Anyway, thanks, John. Thank you very much. I'm sure like a lot of people, they love this interview. I love this interview. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We're definitely going to do this again in the future. Thanks again. Thanks everybody for watching. For those who stayed on despite the technical issues, thank you for staying on. Thank you for your dedication. And that kind of dedication is what you need in order to be. Sir. All right, guys. Thanks and have a good evening.
See ya.